starting with the next session, we have the speaker with us, Gaurang, and I think Nitin would be joining in few minutes probably. So he's working in a profile which is CEO's office in JSW at Mumbai, and a very new student, not much of experience, probably 2 to 3 years of experience. December 21 qualified, but has done great work in Mumbai. Though he had a FOMO of Jaipur initially, but now probably has settled out. And I'm very happy about it that the person has settled out, though he can switch location now because he has built a profile that way. Even if he wants to come back to Jaipur, I would support that particular endeavor because he served in a particular city and has learned few things in last 2 years. We also have another student with us who is another friend, I would say, Nitin. Hi, Nitin. We are Walmart in, I think, financial planning team, what I know, right? So we'll start with both of you. Can you please state your journeys? We'll start with the senior guy, Nitin first. Nitin, कहाँ से हो आप? क्या articleship था आपका as a CA? अच्छा, they are CAs like us. कहाँ काम कर रहे हो? How has been your experience? ये बता दो, फिर आपकी profiles पे हम बाद में आएंगे. पहले अपना brief बता दीजिए. First Nitin and then Gaurang. Same question to both.
Sure. So hi everyone. So I'm basically a Jaipurite. So I did my articleship from Kalani and Kishan Maheshwari and Company. So from there, like I placed with via campus placement with Excel Technology. So as sir said, by profession I'm a chartered accountant, and by passion I'm a technocrat. So
right. Yes.
Yeah. So from there, via campus placement, I placed with Excel Technology into FP&A role only. So I started my journey into FP&A. From there, I spent somewhere around like 1.5 years. Then I got the opportunity to work with JP Morgan Chase again into FP&A role, because at that point of time particular, I'm quite clear about the role that I have to be in the FP&A. And from there, now I recently took a switch to Walmart. So it's again FP&A role. So across all my stints, I've been working through FP&A role. So apart from CA, I recently qualified as a CMA professional as well. So if you guys know, that is again a professional qualification from UK for the guys who want to pursue more in strategy roles, consulting roles, or the finance roles. So yeah, that's a little bit glimpse of me from the professional side. Apart from this, I did some of the certifications, but all those are aligned to my FP&A journey only, whether it's like data analytics, it's like on leadership, business partnering. So yeah, everything is more focused, I would say, towards the FP&A business finance.
Okay, great. So you have been working in this role for from how many years?
Now it's been like 4 years, like I'm into this role.
Mm-hmm. So CS can also get, meaty roles, and they can push harder. Any CEO office or any CFO, we don't require a management graduate for the same. I don't personally don't think so.
Exactly. So like the belief is that if you have to have a like good work, it should be like into M&A or investment banking or consulting. We never find a midway in between where you will be having like, you can prioritize yourself, you can have good quality of work. And we never thought about that we have win-win situation in every dimension, whether it's about pay, whether it's about your work-life balance, whether it's about quality of work. So I believe, because to be very honest, till the time I appear for the HCL campus, I didn't even know about the FP&A role. So I'm also not aligned from the early that I want to be in this role. But once I like see this role, so I see like I'm having a checklist, so everything is just sticking out. So yeah, then why not like go for this?
So to you appraise you with the fact that we have started with a session on profiles, that what all profiles are available, and we started the session from Gaurang's batch only, December 21 batch, what profiles are available, and now in Gaurang's batch also we used to take it at the end of the session, but now it is a part of the initial days of the session. So the person is aware what all profiles are available and what they exactly do. I can give them just a glimpse of it. Obviously, until this do not work, you won't be able to figure out. So we have this sort of session which was not available in your time. So this is one edition that we have done.
Yeah, so that is really a good thing, because at that time I still remember I also want to go to the forensic audit. I want to go to the M&A, and not even I want to go. I have appeared for the interviews like forensic. I appeared for Deloitte, M&A again, Deloitte, GT. So I went to Mumbai just for appearing for the interview. I talk with lot of guys who are working in investment banking. So I do like a lot of research into it. So that is like my one guidance to the freshers, like just put more and more efforts in R&D about the profile. That will pay you off in like future whenever you want to switch. It's better not to take a switch and be into the same profile.
Okay, great. Gaurang, your turn. Just your brief profile and आप अभी क्या कर रहे हैं? What's your job role exactly? Like a little brief about yourself.
So basically, I do have a professional experience of 2 years. So from the very starting, I'm working with the JSW group. So the first 9 months, if I talk about my journey, for the first 6 to 7 months, I was working into the project finance capex department. So more of a clerical kind of a thing, I would say that. So that just frustrated me because as I was the only guy in the Pawan sir batch who appeared for the Mumbai campus, and I already got a shortlist. I did got a shortlisting from approx 20 to 25 companies.
Sir, ये भी बता दो मार्क्स कितने थे, रैंक से कितने कम थे, ये भी बताओ साथ में, और फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट throughout.
Initially, it generally matters, sir. For sure, initially it matters a lot कि whether you
535 कितने नंबर थे? 535.
हाँ 535 थे. I just missed.
देखो यार, अभी तक याद है मुझे, December 21 के हुआ, अभी तक याद है मुझे 535 थे.
By 2 marks, सर. अब वही है सर, अब रैंक से याद नहीं रहती, मगर ये रैंक से चूक जाता है वो जरूर याद रहता है.
हाँ. यार रैंक तो हर अटेम्प्ट में आती है ना, हर अटेम्प्ट में रैंक 1 है, ठीक है, लेकिन 500 बैचेस एक बंदे के एक ही बार आते हैं।
ठीक है, बस उसी चीज का मलाल है कि या तो पास हो जाते या फिर एक आध और नंबर आ जाता तो मजा आ जाता।
अरे क्या करते रैंक लाके, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता यार, जिसमें
हाँ,
आप हो ना उसमें रैंकर्स भी नहीं है।
हाँ,
सच बता रहा हूँ
genuinely,
आपको।
मतलब कि
Okay, go ahead.
the profile that I'm serving now, we already do have a lot of rankers in our organization, and I knew that what they are doing, and I just don't suggest ki whatever they are doing is a great thing, because a chartered accountant like us working in this industry, a kind of a more of a promoter kind of an organization, it's a very tough for us to get that profile. Matlab ki, you can't say at the same time he already although you are getting a work life balance, but I don't say that you are in a clean profile or something like that. I think that if 6 or 7 chartered accountants get into that, I think hardly a 1 or 2% might be working in a good profile, which justifies our chartered accountant candidature. Rest of them though are doing a kind of an accountant kind of a role, or where no specialization of the chartered accountancy are required, to be frank enough. This is the thing that I really want to educate people around me, so that so they wisely choose their profile at the starting of their career, because after some time, so for sure you are getting a good hike and good pay for that. But even if you do have an option at the starting of the career of choosing a profile, because this is another major constraint that we are facing right now. We don't have that much opportunities, we don't have that much options if you just look out for, because in the initially when you go into the campus, you are hired by 4 of the companies, and although ICI is working on that, but some of the companies won't send even the interview links also, and they don't appear on that. Matlab, it's the harsh reality, but it's a reality, and you have to face that. So this is the kind of a slog that you have to put in, so that you can get a good profile into it. This is not a thing that you can't get, but I think what our perception of being a chartered accountant is that even after clearing a CA from first attempt, and as such, I also scored a good mark. So I had a perception कि अब तो गेट के बाहर ही खड़ी होगी कंपनी मेरे को लेने के लिए, अब तो सीए बन गया, अब तो खूब जॉब्स होगी, अब तो मतलब खड़ी होगी बाहर, मैं गेट के बाहर जाऊंगा, मेरे को ले लेगी. But that's not the thing. You have to put a hard work into that also, because this is again a big important lesson and part of your next chapter. So you have to do as I think that Pawan sir has already guided you regarding the LinkedIn and how to approach people.
Thank you. How important is, Gaurang, just a small interruption, how important is cold messaging?
I think that it's generally kind of a very important. I have seen people working in a D-Shaw, Crawl, these kind of companies. I think that even after, because right now though you don't have an experience of working into the corporate, but after some time, if you want a clean profile and a good company to work in and a good MNC to work in, where there is a perfect work-life balance, people of your age is around yours, and there is a more competitive environment, I think these are the firms to target for. And when I just get to know about the people that who are working in that and just being a CA, they get into that merely only by a cold calling, because these companies, these firms never appears into a campus and they directly openly hire for a chartered accountant, because even in their profile now, they mention that we want an MBA or a similar kind of qualification. And I have personally evaluated, and I have personally talked with various people around that, and I just get to know that they just directly approach to the director, partners, and you for sure you have to be lucky for that, because even if that partner is that curious, even if that partner is that supportive, if he's a people person, if he has that opening, I think that he can directly refer to it, and if that person directly refers to the HR and for the purpose, for sure that you have a really high chances of getting into that.
Okay, so absolutely. So
for sure, if you want a profile, then you have to just reach out to the people of what profile you are seeking for in the initially career. Otherwise, so whatever the options you are, although you might not be satisfied with the profile that you are getting, then at last you have to end up with that only.
We will speak on a profile, like how important is profile, probably at the end of the session. I'll want to come back to Nitin. So Nitin, you're working in FP&A from last 3.5 years. करता क्या है यार FP&A? इतनी हवा है ना FP&A की. अब तो सब FP&A बेच रहे हैं. करते क्या हो आप ऐसा यार? Why are you in so much of demand? Why this profile is in demand so much? Can you please guide students? What you don't take the name, like Gaurang, don't take the name of the deal or the exact project's name, but just guide them कि exact काम क्या होता है. You can tell the sector कि भाई ये sectors देख रहे हैं या इस तरीके. Be generic, don't take the exact name, just for the confidentiality. One by one. Nitin, आप क्या करते हो? FP&A करता क्या है? Then Gaurang, CE office करता है.
Yeah. So first, if I have to symbolize FP&A, then like if organization is a car, then like FP&A are the headlights. Like the role that they have is like to set the vision for the organization. And again, like it's first divided into the two sides. One would be the FP&A consulting side, and second would be the captive FP&A, which is like in which whatever company I'm in, I'm doing the FP&A for that company. So I'm not working on the deals or for any clients. I'm not into an FP&A consulting. Rather, I will be on this captive FP&A. So there are two sides of it. Big Fours and in fact management consulting also, all they have like FP&A consulting domain as well. So you can go into FP&A consulting as well. And suppose I work with JP Morgan Chase, I'm working with Walmart, so I'm doing FP&A for them only. So that is one aspect of it. Second aspect would be FP&A is like one-stop solution for the organization, for the CFOs, for the leaders. Whether like our primary work relates to like forecasting, budgeting. You have heard the quarterly calls that the organization is investor relations. They forecast that for the going year we are having our this much revenue, this much margin. These are the various factors that will be affecting. So that will be the part of our forecasting and budgeting exercise. Then one primary thing would be the ad hoc analysis. So out of like 100%, I think 30-40% would comprises of these ad hoc and analytical analysis, where your partners, business partners come, or your stakeholders come to you and they ask you that we are planning to do this and this. Can you please do some random analysis that actually supports the decision making? That's why there is a kick while working in the FP&A. Like you are not working for the backward looking processes. You are working on the forward looking processes. You are directly able to relate your efforts with the value addition that you bring for the company. Like if any of your like decision or like analysis forms the part of their strategy, you're directly able to relate the savings part, whether it's on the cost side or increasing their revenue. So that is one part. So it's the role where like finance meet with technology, because as you know, like you have to do the analysis, so you have to be on your toes for your technology part, whether it's like BI tools like Power BI, Tableau, or it's like ETL tool, whether it's like Alteryx, how you can increase the efficiency. Now we have like Gen AI in place, so how you can utilize Chat GPT in your work. It's never be the case where technology eats up your role. It's just like technology just change the way you do the work. So if you're able to utilize all these things into your work, so that's the good part about FP&A. Like there is no limit. Even when you start the company as an analyst, nobody like stops you to analyze your competitors, ask questions with the seniors. You have become the part of the some crucial calls, which is with the CFO and the senior leaders. So you know the business partnering. Business partnering, one of the key like intrinsic skill which is there in FP&A. So yeah, that's a glimpse of FP&A. So it's never be the same recurring rules or activities or deliverables. It just kept on changing based upon the business need, based upon the needs of your stakeholders. So yeah, that is one thing which is pretty dynamic about this role.
Okay, that's nice. I'll come to the technology part later on, because there is not much of acceptance within chartered accountants when we tell them, please learn technology. They say, sir, engineer kyun bana rahe ho? Okay, so this is how they react. Be it any forum, wherever I personally speak, or where I've been called as a speaker, whenever I pitch for learning at least basic tools, nobody's asking to develop a tool, but at least use it, learn how to use it. So the argument against it is, we are chartered accountants, why should we learn different tools? This is more of a technical side to it, but in my opinion, we are more of a techno-functional. We're now into a techno-functional zone, work-wise. So we need to learn it. Okay, coming back to you, Nitin, in a moment. Going to Gaurang first. Again, Gaurang, आप क्या करते हो exactly CEO office? Again, ये भी एक बहुत ही fancy सा sound करता है यार. हमने भी poster पे लिख दिया fancy बनाने के लिए. होता क्या है? Exactly करते क्या?
Okay, so basically last year only मेरे को opportunity मिली कि मैं chairman office में काम करूँ. तो chairman office के अंदर I am into the corporate strategy and new business development करके एक department होता है. मतलब कि सिर्फ department का नाम change होता है, काम वही होता है सारा. किसी का corporate strategy बोल देंगे, corporate strategy costing बोल देंगे, management profile बोल देंगे. मतलब कि kind of a different नाम है ऊपर, मगर काम सारा एक ही है. So it's basically a chairman office. मतलब कि chairman की floor
पर वही सर, मोमोज डम्पलिंग बात हुई है, मसाला हुई है अंदर सर, राइट?
So chairman office के अंदर मैं बात करूँगा कि you are not only a finance person in that, that's for sure. आपको वहाँ पे टेक्निकल भी बनना पड़ेगा, आपको लीगल भी बनना पड़ेगा. So you मतलब कि because chairman office means that chairman is expecting you to deliver the deliverables, and at that time you know each and every bit of the background. For example, अभी क्या है EV business के अंदर, मतलब automobile business के अंदर JSW is trying to penetrate, and it has already break through a major deal for that. So मतलब it is already into the place. So what the chairman expects is the each and inch of the details. And even when you just speak the number before him, he just reminds, irrespective of the profile that you are. I'm not at that senior level. I think that I'm the youngest person over there, and I'm the only chartered accountant over there. So rest to all are engineers, because obviously it's an engineer trained company. So because you are always being directed to do some things which you might not be aware that what's the purpose of that, but you have to do that because it comes from the chairman's office, and you can't just expect that what is the purpose of that, because it's a kind of a confidential purpose and for other stuff also. So that's kind of thing over there. I think that's the little bit big disadvantage, but I think that I genuinely got a good opportunity. I'll just tell you that what I have done in this role. So basically, in Tamil Nadu, for the Ford, we were going to take the Ford plant. So on the behalf of the JSW, I have represented before the principal secretary of Tamil Nadu. So it was the biggest achievement of my life, because sitting before an IAS officer who is directly going to the chief minister's office to brief about that what the JSW is going to propose. So making a presentation on it and just doing the background research on that, and presenting into the management and directly presenting to that person who is going to into the cabinet. If you are understanding that how delicate it is, thousands of crores of investment is online, and for that I have prepared the presentation, and I have presented the presentations on that behalf. They are going to represent to the cabinet, and for that the approval needs to be aligned. So several discussions happened, and I think that was the biggest learning. And the same thing also happened in the Odisha also, as the recent news has already been there. JSW is going to set up its CV complex into the Odisha. So same thing I did in the Odisha also, and I'm very pleased and I'm very obliged कि I got this opportunity. कि इतना बड़े लेवल पे मैंने काम करा कि उसके अंदर आज मैंने खुद ने प्रेजेंट करा, मैंने वेरियस स्टेट्स का एनालिसिस किया, ये सारी चीजें मैंने करी. तमिलनाडु के अंदर हमने एक कंसल्टेंट हायर करा था एंड ही डिड नथिंग. जेन्युइनली सर, सच्ची बता रहा हूँ, मतलब कि एक्सॉर्बिटेंट फीस चार्ज करी है और मेरे को समझ में नहीं आया कि कंसल्टेंट इतने पैसे लेते कैसे हैं और कंपनियां देती है आराम से. टू बी ऑनेस्ट, पूरा काम जो है सर, सेम काम मैंने उड़ीसा में खुद ने किया, कोई बिना किसी कंसल्टेंट के, और उस कंसल्टेंट की मैं फीस भी बताऊंगा और आपको उसका काम भी बताऊंगा ना. आप
उसको लेने देते हैं बॉस, पब्लिक प्लेटफॉर्म पे
बोलोगे पूरा प्रेजेंट मैंने करा इतना.
जयपुर पे किसी दिन चाय पे बैठेंगे तब बात करेंगे.
सिर्फ जेन्युइनली मतलब कि अच्छी इंग्लिश बोली उन्होंने और अच्छा प्रेजेंट करा. ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट दे हैव जस्ट रेज्ड देयर इनवॉइसेस. उसके अलावा मेरे को पता है कि क्या काम हुआ है और क्या काम किया है, मतलब कि वो चीज के बारे में मेरे को अवेयरनेस थी. मगर यहाँ पे ऑब्वियसली आप चेयरमैन ऑफिस में हो तो सबसे पहले आपको होता है कि आपको इंटर डिपार्टमेंट या क्रॉस फंक्शनल टीम से इन्फॉर्मेशन लेनी होती है. अगर आप नॉर्मल डिपार्टमेंट में हो ना तो यू हैव टू डू अ वीक्स ऑफ स्लॉग्स इन ऑर्डर टू गेट अ काइंड ऑफ इन्फॉर्मेशन. मगर एक बार चेयरमैन ऑफिस का थप्पा लग
Even
जाता है.
Gaurang, ये FP&A में भी होता है because I served 4 months but not a very long time. वहाँ पे भी I have to go to different departments to fetch data and it becomes extremely difficult to get the exact data that I want.
Correct.
They will give you anything.
करेक्ट. तो इसलिए हमारे क्या होता है कि हम डायरेक्टली एक नीचे सिग्नेचर में मार्क करके रखते हैं कि चेयरमैन ऑफिस. तो चेयरमैन ऑफिस का जैसा आता है ना तो पूरा डिपार्टमेंट खड़ा हो जाता है उनका, और डिपार्टमेंट बाय द एंड ऑफ द डे विदाउट फॉलोइंग अप वो सारा डेटा भेज देता है कलेक्ट करके, और 4 बार हमको कॉल करके पूछता है कि किस पर्पस के लिए चाहिए, क्या चीज है. सो दैट्स काइंड ऑफ अ थिंग ओवर हैपेंस ओवर देयर, बिकॉज यहाँ पे आपको केमिकल तक का आइडिया रखना पड़ता है चेयरमैन ऑफिस में काम करते टाइम, क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली ऑल इंजीनियर्स आर देयर, और मैं कोई चीज उनके पास में लेके जाऊंगा किसी चीज की शीट, तो मेरे को उसकी बेसिक डिटेल्स पता होनी चाहिए कि भाई ये गाड़ी इतने की है, इसके अंदर इस केमिस्ट्री की बैटरी यूज हो रही है, इस केमिस्ट्री के सेल्स इस क्वांटिटी का यूज होता है, इतनी कॉस्ट होती है, तो एवरीथिंग यू हैव टू डू दैट. और मेरा जैसा एक आदमी है कि जो कि एसएफएम के पेपर में कैलकुलेटर ले जाना भूल गया था. Genuinely that kind of minute detail you have to remember to work with the chairman office. और genuinely कई बार बहुत irrational चीजें भी आती है कि आपको लगता है कि यार मैंने सीए करा है, but what I am doing here, but it generally justifies over the period of time.
Generally it is a good role. Generally, broadly speaking, it is a good role. It is very
बहुत
ambitious.
EY, हाँ करेक्ट, बड़े बड़े इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंक जो कि EY का जो इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंक का हेड है उसके साथ मेरी 1-to-1 मीटिंग हुई है. PwC के और बहुत कंसल्टिंग.
Let's not get into that exact. Let's not take names. You can say Big Four का IBS है.
ओके हाँ, तो फॉर श्योर इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंक के हेड, क्योंकि बिकॉज मैं उस ऑफिस के अंदर हूँ, तो आई डू हैव द लीवे टू गो अराउंड देम एंड टू डायरेक्टली रीच देम विदाउट जस्ट कंसल्टिंग टू माय मैनेजर. मेरा मैनेजर डायरेक्टली बोलता है, जो कि डायरेक्टली चेयरमैन को रिपोर्ट करता है कि व्हाटएवर यू वांट टू डू, मतलब कि कोई भी चीज आपको करनी है तो यू कैन डायरेक्टली अप्रोच टू एनी पर्सन, बस जस्ट गेट इट डन. सो दैट काइंड ऑफ लिबर्टी आल्सो यू गेट. और उसके बाद में आप ऑब्वियसली कॉन्टैक्ट्स आपके बहुत ज्यादा बनते हैं. दिस इज अ काइंड ऑफ अ कॉम्प्लेक्स ऑफ चेयरमैन प्रोफाइल.
Okay, coming back to Nitin again. So both of you explained beautifully what you exactly do, and very similar, sounding experiences, very similar sounding experiences. कि techno-functional है, बहुत ऐसी business specific चीजें भी सीखनी है. You have to be, very good with numbers and on your toes all the time. Very challenging. Ad hoc, he said ad hoc, कुछ भी उठ के आ जाएगा कि कल ये दे दो या product wise दे दो, geography wise दे दो. So very challenging roles. I think as a chartered accountant, कौन कह रहा है इस फालतू की बातें, मतलब why something beyond chartered accountancy? It has sea of opportunities in front of us. It is we who do not look at it from that perspective, what I believe, right? It is we who fail to realize the fact that it's a premier body giving us great opportunities, and I'm really thankful to ICI as my mother body, and I think all of you would be, that it gives us so much to explore, so much, and it has made us such a great professional. This is I can say on any public platform. Okay, coming back to Nitin. So Nitin, यार अभी जो सीए फ्रेशर्स हैं उनको एग्जैक्टली क्या स्किल्स एक्वायर करने चाहिए अगर उन्हें FP&A में काम करना है तो, और वो कैसे यहाँ पहुंच सकते हैं, और इसका ग्रोथ ट्रैजेक्टरी, मतलब ये 2-4 सवाल है, ये सब कमेंट में, इसकी ग्रोथ ट्रैजेक्टरी क्या है, कहाँ देखें वो अपने आप को कुछ सालों में अगर वो इस प्रोफाइल में काम कर रहे हैं.
Okay, so I'll answer your second question first. So as I told, like how FP&A professional works, you act as a mini CFO for your own portfolio. So like you can imagine that like Walmart is having its CFO who's taking care of whole of the Walmart. And suppose I have been given the one of the portfolio of Walmart, say apparels for the US market. So now I am acting as a CFO for my own portfolio. Whatever analysis, whatever strategy work, whatever they are, like I am representing my portfolio. So it's just that they have cut it down one of the piece from Walmart, they have given it to me, and now I am the pilot of that particular portfolio. So we are already acting as a CFO for your portfolio. It's just that once you start climbing up the ladder, your portfolio size will increase over the time. And once you have like 15, 20, 25 years, you will be the CFO of the company or something like this. So you're already acting as a CFO the very first moment you are into the FP&A role or business finance role. So that is one part of it. So now I think you can predict the growth and the trajectory. Like you are already in the control of your portfolio. It's just like you are not working in silos. You are having an end-to-end visibility for this role. That is the good part. Second part would be how we can like get into this role. So for me, what I personally believe, it doesn't require that you have particular FP&A sort of work experience previously or strategy or business finance. FP&A is just a term which is made out of like data analytics side, business partnering side. Like you have to be more analytical, and it doesn't matter even if you didn't get the analytical work, you can show that skill set in your personal life. I did it to engage with so much stakeholders. You have to like have calls with the CFO. So you have to show that team leadership skill, emotional intelligence, empathy, the ability to understand what other is trying to get. So all these things are there. And I don't think, like I also did most of my part of internship in auditing. So it's not that I'm getting that analytical. It's just that you have to show that analysis, the use of technology, like you are already on your toes, how you can utilize the technology and increasing the efficiency of your current FP&A processes. So I think that is all universal or pervasive. And more specifically, if you ask me about tools or something, so you can utilize, as I told, like one of the ETL tool, pick any one, where it's like Power Query, Alteryx or anything. Then coming to the BI tools, like take a look at like Power BI or Tableau or like ClickSense, anything. Then one of the EPM tool, OneStream. But to be very honest, as a fresher, this is my suggestion. Like these are having its like value addition, but the most important part is like you are able to show your analytical skills, the way you see the events. It's not just like the backward looking thing. Whenever you see any event, you are able to draw different interference from those systems, how you derive the decision. And yeah, one of the important thing is decision making. So if you already show them that you have took the decisions previously, so yeah, these are all the critical skills that, and again, these are not limited to your professional experiences. In the meantime, you can continue sharing your experience on these two questions.
So basically, industry ke andar, as I think that the Sagar has already mentioned, the analytical tool, Power BI, Tableau. So these are in the trend. For sure, initially, if you want to acquire any kind of a skill, I think that these are the good tools to acquire for. Because if you in your working, if you don't use that, I think that you might get offset of that skill, because if it doesn't comes to in your use. So if it aligns with your profile and if it is in your daily use, I think that would be the most crucial, because at that time you can learn. Because initially you will just try, you will just acquire, okay, these are the things I can do. But in the actual thing, I think that there are a lot of things to do that. So whatever your role demands, and I think these are the basic tools for sure, you can do it. But sometimes you might end up in a profile where such tools might not be required that, but it doesn't. For example, in the starting also, I have learned special sessions were conducted for us to learn the Chinese language, because our team is a frequent visitor of the Chinese state, as the automobile industry is completely their raw materials and whatever the technology is deriving. I think that the Chinese is the supreme leader of all of that. So almost we are 17 members teams, and almost I think that 3 to 4 members are always in China only. I also got an opportunity to go to China, but I just missed it because of my own personal reasons. So in that profession, one more thing, in a chairman office, there are a lot of traveling involved. There might be the cases that you are sitting right over here and you will be called by the manager and you will be asked, okay, Gaurang, just pack your bags. Tomorrow you are going to China, or tomorrow you are going to Europe. So these kind of things can happen, and you have to prepare yourself accordingly, because he's not the person who's going to ask you that get your visa and something like that, because visa processing is also done. So you have to keep your visa already ready. So at any point of time, if anything is required, you can just directly travel to that. As just because of that reason, I just missed a tour of London also, because my visa was not ready and I was supposed to fly 2 or 3 days after only. So because of that also, I just lost an opportunity. So a lot of traveling and a lot of dynamic role is overall, I can say that from a chairman office, you can directly expect. And for sure, the kind of stakeholders that you are meeting, I think that it's a supreme learning for anyone who could be in that program.
Questions from student side. The forum is open for you to ask about CEO's office, chairman office profile or FP&A profile, anything from your side. Students are open. This forum is open for questions.
Hello, sir.
Go ahead, Chandan.
Hello, everyone. So my question is to Gaurang here. So did you started from the CE office profile, or were you were you involved in somebody a different profile before entering into CE office?
Before, no. So there is never a direct recruitment for the chairman's office for sure, because it's an internal job posting that releases and you have to apply that. So basically, I was into the project finance capex team before that, and IJP was released for that meanwhile. And I think that all of people, I think approx 500 applications came for that. So I was the luckiest one to get selected and to be shortlisted and to be interviewed. So in that way, I just got into the chairman's office. There is no direct way you can say, but although if you have a contacts of that level, I think that could help.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other question? Any other question? Any question from the students?
Hello, sir. I would like to ask, what is the work, your day-to-day work in the FP&A profile? What kind of work is allocated to the FP&A profile?
Okay, so as I said, like it's a combination of like forecasting, budgeting, and variance analysis, various ad hoc analysis. So yeah, coming on to the budget side. So every company is having the different number of budget cycles. Say if I take example of JP Morgan, suppose if say there are 3 budget cycle. So during these 3 budget cycle, your primary focus is on like budget creation, submission, driver analysis, and all those things. Second would be the forecast. Forecast can be on a monthly basis, can be on a weekly basis. So in most of the companies, we have weekly forecast as well. So whenever say like Friday is the day when you have to come up with your forecast. So your most of the time will went into the forecast. Then once you do the budgeting and the forecasting, then we have actuals in the month end. And definitely you have to analyze. Suppose if you forecast that your sale will be 1,000, but actually for that month your sale will hit suppose 700. So there is a variance of like 300. So you definitely are curious to know that what is this 300 variance and from where it is coming. So you have to analyze that particular aspect. You have to reach out to different stakeholder on a month end basis. Like, is there any reason? So I can give one example. Like in previous year, JP Morgan Chase has planned a lot of severance part or the RIF part. They ask employees to leave in their home lending business. So with their there is a attached severance part on it. Severance is the pay that they have to pay to the employees for the termination, involuntary termination. So that part is creating the increase in the cost on the salary part. So these sort of variances we analyze and we get back. Apart from this, since you are interacting with your CFO, with your key business stakeholders, so suppose they want to do some analysis. Suppose if there is a marketing team and there is a retail industry and they want to go ahead with one of the new campaigns, say for their one of the apparel or something. So the marketing team might reach out to you and ask you like, we are planning to do this much campaign for the next year. What is the like analysis? Is this feasible for that geography? Is that make sense? What should be our target audience, or any sort of analysis? So that is one part of it. So majorly these like 4 parts will be the forming the part of your role, where one would be like budgeting, one would be forecasting, variance analysis, and as I said, like majority of work goes to ad hoc analysis or strategy or like decision making part. And yeah, one part would be the MIS as well. MIS is just like you are working on the dashboards and visualization and storytelling. It's not restricted with creating the slides. It is more to visualize the things, provide the stories to the senior leaders, because as we know, creating the slide just again a operational work, whereas narrating a story about the events that actually happens in the business is much more crucial. So yeah, that is one part. So yeah, these are the major rules, and in that ad hoc bucket you can get like anything, any analysis, any study. So that is the good part about it. So I hope I answer your question.
One more thing, what is the team composition in the role? Basically, one CA and one from the management trainee or from the research analytics side, or what are the basic components of that role?
Yeah, so the team mostly comprises like the chartered accountants and the MBAs only. And the good part is it's a global role. So in abroad, you might see the chartered accountants or CPAs or CCAs along with the top tier 1 MBA grads. But in India, the good part is that chartered accountants are getting the edge over this role because the business acumen is like more here. So that is the good part here in India. Like for FP&A business finance, chartered accountants are getting edge over this. But yeah, since it's a global role, so it's always the MBA plus chartered accountant. That's a sort of team composition. Mostly like chartered accountants are given the preferences for the higher roles. So yeah, because we are directly aligned with the CFO, and that's the good part about it. And that's why like Cs are given more importance in this role.
Thank you.
All right.
Go ahead, keep asking. I mean, don't just say hello. You can ask directly.
Oh, okay. So I have a question. I just want to know your take on Big Four versus industry for a good start. So what is better?
Irrespective of role you want, or you want me to focus on FP&A?
I want both. If you can specify for FP&A, I know that also, but I would love to hear that also, and generally also. Yeah.
Got it. So I would say like working initially with Big Four give you a taste of like working for different industry. Like while working with Big Four, so if I'm taking example of FP&A, so again, as I told, FP&A is into consulting as well and will be captive FP&A as well. So when I work with JP Morgan Chase Walmart, I'm doing FP&A for them only. But while you work with Big Four or the consulting firms, they are definitely doing it for the clients. There are captive FP&A team also in Big Four, but mostly it will be for clients. So in that time, you will get a taste for different industries. You will get around like different tools. So your learning curve definitely will be good if you're working with Big Four. But as I said, like FP&A is the role where you cannot restrict your learning curve. So you can go with the industry as well. And again, the work preferences, priorities, work-life balances, that again matters, because in Big Fours, you are into consulting, there are gonna assignments that will be on a deadline basis. So that will be more stringent. But if you're someone who prioritize your personal life as well, and that is totally fine, like I did it, so you can go ahead and go with the industry. The issue is that initially you might not get a lot of offers from the industry because you are a fresher, but if you work with the Big Four, so it's relatively easier to get into the industry. That is one thing. But as I told, like everything is possible later on. If you want to shift from industry to Big Four, that is again possible. Good part of FP&A is it's all pervasive. It's into service, it's into manufacturing industry. Every company is having FP&A, and FP&A is now evolving in India. It's a global function, and previously it was a little bit more of a backward in nature. In fact, in today also, in most of the Indian-based companies, you find that the role is FP&A, but you are still end up doing reporting or backward-looking things. But now it's evolving, and it's having a like good future over the next few years. So yeah, you can start with industry if you prioritize your like personal life, work life, everything. So yeah, that is one key tip.
Okay, so last question from my side to Gaurang and Nitin both, because we have questions. One question from my side. यार as a fresher मैं क्या करूँ? नितिन, कुछ मेरे को पावर BI, पावर क्वेरी, ये फाइनेंशियल मॉडलिंग ये करना है क्या? करना चाहिए क्या? वैसे अमन से भी पूछूंगा मैं, क्योंकि उनकी प्रोफाइल से काफी मैच करता हुआ ये सब। क्या करना है बॉस? करना है क्या सब? बोले सर तो रोज सर खाते हैं कि सब करो, ठीक है? सर तो पीछे पड़ गए हमारे, कोल्ड मैसेजिंग करो, ये करो, क्या कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है यार ये सब?
I would give a one simple example. Yes, if you can do it, definitely that helps. So I can relate this with your like currently campus is going on. So what you can do, you can prepare a data set. So suppose you apply for like 50 to 100 companies. Just prepare one data set, enter some of the fields like geographies, then profiles and all these things, and you can just prepare a dashboard out of it. So it will show the interviewer that you have actually utilized this in your current scenario. So that way you can have a glimpse also that like for this role, for how many times you have applied, you are getting responses. Just mark down that as well. So you're able to analyze that if I apply for auditing, I'm getting like 10 responses. If I apply for this, and there is something I have to do for my resume as well. So that sort of analysis you can do in your like placement as well. But yeah, definitely if you are able to do, Tableau is again open source. So if you want to test it, yeah, nobody is restricting you. So that you can utilize. So yeah, definitely.
And you also did SQL. You were, I think that time you knew SQL, what I remember.
Exactly. I know SQL. I know a little bit about Java. So knowing one programming language definitely gives you an edge. But these I have not mentioned because these will the least criteria. Even if you go with one of the ETL tool or the BI tool, that will like suffice more. So yeah, SQL and other things definitely is added advantage. But again,
so Power BI, Power Query will help you because that helps you in dashboarding and automation.
Yeah, automation would be again a different RP tool. But yeah, ETL is important because until unless I'm having a clean or trimmed data, that will not be useful for my visualization. So yeah, one ETL and one BI.
Okay. And Gaurang, for you, because you must be dealing with, in case if you're able to hear me, you must be dealing with a lot of PPTs. And even for you, Excel, PPT, or maybe Power BI also, I don't know, would be an important tool, right? So how important is to get a hold on these tools? And
yeah, for sure. On the upfront what an interview is seeking for is that one question you will be facing for sure about your how much will you rate on the Microsoft Excel and PPT? That's kind of question for sure that you are going to face even in this interview process, because when I was interviewed, these kind of questions for sure I have been asked for. And specifically for the Power BI, I think that in the HCL also and in Alta Builder also, I was also about the same question, whether you know or have you ever experienced working in Power BI. So I think that it will for sure give you an edge, and it will give you an edge over others regarding if you have already working with the Power BI and this Excel and Microsoft. Because in the starting of this, company can't expect a much more than this, because even they don't consider our articleship experience as a relevant experience. They only consider the relevant experience as a professional experience, so they can't expect that. But even if you have that kind of knowledge and a bit working on that, I think that you will for sure you will have an edge over that. And even in the interview and even in that CVs, what I have been reviewing or what I have been seeing is that if you have mentioned over there, I think that a chance of your shortlisting even in getting the top folks like JP Morgan's and whatever the other big consulting.
And one more thing, I just want to add on I just want to add on one more question. How important is PPT? Both of you can speak on PPT. First, Gaurang.
I think, sir, from my perspective, the PPT is very important because I have been asked to prepare the PPT every fortnightly. It might be regarding anything, whether it is regarding on the market research, whether it is regarding on the feasibility studies, whether it is regarding the representation to be made to the state governments for a customized incentive packages. So PPT is for sure a very important tool because obviously PPT is a tool which gives a management brief of all the hard known data. So PPT is the basic tool because each and every management level person only refers the PPT. That is a summary of all of the data. So for sure, PPT is, I think that it is one of the foremost tools that will upskill your skills and will edge you over the others. Specifically in industry, to that I can say.
Yeah, so for PPT, I would go one step ahead and I would emphasize on storytelling, because PPT is again like you have to work upon it, but the BI tools, they are readily able to produce those and you don't have to give any interference in this. But yeah, the storytelling is how you can narrate the one slider or something to the management, how you can bring the story with that PPT attached to it. So that is one part I would emphasize on, and yeah, so storytelling would be the key.
Okay. Thank you, Nitin and Gaurang, for your valuable time.